Imagine this, you're in a meeting and you've actually got the right answer. You open your mouth and you say, I think we should maybe try. In that one sentence, you've just told the room, I'm not fully sure. You can override me. I'm asking for permission. In this episode, I am going to show you those small words and phrases that quietly undermine your influence and the simple swaps that make people lean in, take you seriously, and actually follow your ideas. If you're ambitious but are tired of being the hard worker who's overlooked, stay with me. We all have these verbal habits, even the most confident and capable people. The problem isn't your knowledge, your preparation, or your ideas. It's how your delivery signals them. Small phrases like, I think, I know, yeah. Just checking, does that make sense? Those are what I call credibility leaks. Tiny words that quietly undermine your influence and drain your authority before you even finish your sentence. Most of us don't even realize we're doing it. We sometimes think it's us being polite, but the subtext is uncertainty. It often takes an external nudge to make it obvious. The truth of this story, I have been guilty of this. When I was having conversations, discussions, even with partners, I would tend to say, I think quite a lot. And that would either be at the start of the sentence or just between as a filler word. And also when I was framing questions, I thought I was doing it in a way that would kind of give the solution. So then when someone would give me the answer, I would respond in a way where it's, I know, yeah. The problem is that it wasn't really landing. It's not because I wasn't prepared or didn't know my stuff. That was never the problem. It was more so that my delivery was softening my points. I actually didn't realize it took a partner kind of pulling me to the side and giving me this feedback for me to even realize. They said, you say think or I know, yeah, quite a lot. And I was like, I say what? What do I do? It was that moment that made me then conscious of the habit. And once I was conscious of it, I could not stop noticing it. But what that meant is I could start acting on it. I could immediately tell that I was coming across as just more confident as soon as I started to drop those filler words. The thing is, these phrases can also sometimes be used as a safety net. If someone says, I think, and they're wrong, they have a way out. If you say, I know, yeah, you think it looks like you already knew, like you're not silly for not knowing that. But in high stakes environments, there is no out. You either own the point or you don't. Here's the subtext. Uncertainty is expensive. In a room full of leaders, people are looking for clarity. When you use these softeners, you're telling the listeners, I'm not fully comfortable with the weight of this statement. The subtext you're sending often matters more than the words themselves. Even brilliant ideas lose impact when hedged. High-stake individuals, they don't feel silenced, they own it. Influence comes from letting your insights land without seeking validation. It doesn't need to come from being right 100% of the time. It comes from that conviction that you have when you speak. So stop asking for permission to be right. Think of it as the just tax. Look at the differences in these two emails. I'm just checking in to see if you've looked at this. The subtext, I'm bothering you, sorry. Versus, I'm following up on this. What are your next steps? Subtext, I'm managing this project and expecting progress. One word, just, it really changes who is taking charge of this conversation. Stop paying the tax, own your space. Then let your impact follow. Remember, the most influential people in the room are often the ones most comfortable with silence. Here are 3 subtle signals to master. Firstly, the full stop, not the question mark. Stop upspeaking at the end of sentences. Land your statements flat. Then the thought gap. When asked a hard question, just pause. Don't fill it with or I think. The silence signals that you're in control of your thoughts. And finally, the alignment swap. Instead of asking, does that make sense? Which implies that you are confusing. Try, what are your thoughts on this? That shows you want their alignment. Here's how you stop leaking credibility this week. Move 1, the recording audit. Record 1 internal call, assuming you're allowed and follow procedure. Listen for your filler type word. Once you hear yourself say, I think, 10 times, you really won't want to say it again. And if you can't record yourself, maybe ask someone. I was quite lucky that someone felt that they could tell me. So ask a few people close to you and see what they say. Move to the keyword method. In emails, delete every just or I feel before you press send. If the sentence still works, leave them out. And move 3, speak in bullet points. State the point, stop, and then wait for the reaction. Don't feel you have to provide that verbal padding just to make the other person feel comfortable. So this isn't about being robotic. It's about making sure your delivery matches your brilliance. Small tweaks, dropping the fillers, pausing, owning your statements, they have massive impact. So as we wrap up, I want you to ask yourself these 3 questions. Am I using softeners because I'm being polite, or am I afraid of being wrong? If I remove all of the filler words, would I still have the confidence to stand by what's left? And finally, what is that one phrase I am retiring today? Influence is probably 10% of what you say, and 90% the conviction behind it. Stop leaking credibility. If you give me your time, I do not take that lightly. Subscribe so I know that this is worth building. I'm Jag Daluel. Let's keep getting into the subtext, and I'll see you next week.